Hey guys, welcome to this video. Today we will be going over what you need to have in your kit list for a catering gig. Now, hang tight, we'll go through this whole thing. Not on this list is the unique aspects of each event. That means you should have a list like this, file, copy each time you have a client, and add in their deliverables. Again, we discussed this in one of the other videos. If you haven't watched it, you can go find it. If you have watched it, you should remember it's what you put in the SLA. How many bottles of wine they want, how many glasses they're renting, how many canapes per person and total canapes to bring, how many of each canape type, how many of each sandwich type, how many soft drinks, what drinks options, do they need ice, all these things will be different for each event. You need to put them in the kit list. I would strongly recommend put them at the top because they're the most critical items. Like, should you have a Sharpie marker with you just in case? Yeah, it's a good idea. Will the gig fall apart without a Sharpie marker? No. Will the gig fall apart if you forgot half the wine? Maybe. I bet you can recover, but you're gonna look like a mess having to send someone to go get wine. If you can't send them, you're going to be refunding and sending an apology. Best to avoid that. So let's move through this. Again, not all of this is always needed, but good to include. If you're limited on space for storage at the events, like if you only have this little under the bar cupboard, or there's no parking, so you can't have the van close by with a kit, gauge what you must have versus what you probably don't need. Like, let's look here. First aid kit, always great. If you're in an office space or a building, most of them will already have them though. Still a good idea to have gloves and band-aids. Yes, I will say especially good, at least for where I'm from. You're supposed to get food service blue band-aids. Why? Band-aids fall off. They do. It happens. They get wet, they fall off. They snag on something, they fall off. If a skin tone band-aid falls into food, it is much harder to see than a bright blue band-aid. Either way, that food is ruined. But it's better for you to be able to spot the bright blue before it goes out rather than someone finding a skin tone band-aid in their mouth. So, let's move on. Basic tools. If you have cases of things to open, have a utility knife with you or scissors. If you're going to have to be closing boxes back up potentially, have duct tape or packing tape. Always bring a phone charger. I will constantly preach. Have your phone fully charged before you leave for an event. If you can't, though, have a portable charger. Because for some reason, if you need something and your phone dies, you're in the dark. You better hope you don't need something. Because if you're stuck at your station and something runs out, you're going to have to figure out how to message someone and get someone's attention. So keep a charged phone. Food-related stuff. Always bring more than their head count. Now, there will be another video going over how to make a quote. If they have 150 people, bring 175, whether it's plates, flatware, cutlery, crockery. Bring more. 10% more is a safe margin. Why? People drop stuff. Stuff falls. So, especially if you're doing disposable cutlery, get stuff that's wrapped. Because then you can still use it. If you drop unwrapped disposable cutlery on the floor, you toss it. If it's still wrapped, because they're going to open it and it hasn't touched the surface. It's going to touch their food in their mouth. You can use them. Get the wrapped ones. It's always good to also just bring some backup disposable things as well. Some people ask you to take something to go, and if that's fine, give them a little disposable plate. If they want to go grab a drink of water or something and they can't find a cup, give them a disposable cup. Cleaning supplies. I don't know many catering staff that don't pick up after themselves. Bring your own trash bags, cleaning supplies, wipes, spray rags, whatever it may be, so you can properly clean up after yourself. Same for hygiene here. Bring a box of gloves. They cost like £3 for a box. It's usually a lot less, probably half that. Bring a box. Because, when you're doing food prep, yeah, you wash your hands and you're fine. 99% of the time. But sometimes it's good to, just throw on the gloves. Be careful with latex, though. I'd get latex free. Because if a guest has a latex allergy and you were touching food and you didn't know, hooray if you have insurance. But, it's best not to trigger that allergy. Excuse me. Emergency contact information. This should be in the individual kit list for your day of. All staff going should be in a list with their numbers. Event contact people in a list with their numbers. Suppliers working with you, get them all down. Because if you're canapé people, let's say you're having them deliver and you're not making them, right? They're supposed to be there no later than 9. You look at the clock, because you're prepping, it's 9:10, you haven't gotten a call or anything, and now you're scrambling to find a number. Get the driver's numbers. Always ask for it. And then there's other little bits. If you're bringing equipment, bring little things to repair or adjust. Check the weather. If it's going to be raining, you might want to bring an umbrella or a rain jacket. Plan ahead. And then there's the specialty items again per event. Do you need extra fuel? Extension cords. This is always nice. Bring some bottled water and some healthy snacks for your team, especially if it's a long event and you're not going to be able to step away for 8 hours. It happens sometimes. Bring some energy balls, some granola, something that you can sneak away for 5 minutes, shove in your mouth, eat, grab a sip of water to wash it down, and get back to business. It's a bit abnormal to not be able to have a small break, but it happens. If you're taking payments, be sure you're all set. Have a cash box and a card runner. And again, anything extra that may have been asked for. Make a list like this. Save it, copy it, reuse it. So again, this is a pretty standard kit list to have for any catering event. And again, it changes per event because, no two events really are the same. Even if it's the same service, there's likely some sort of difference that you're going to have to revamp the kit list just a little bit. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, I encourage you to drop that below and I will answer you as soon as I can.